Part 2 to What If Deku Was a Battle Junkie. And we pretty much left off with your boy being basically pissed. Like, basically, he snapped all the accumulated battle and damage and abuse and all that stuff accumulated into one big load. And yeah, so he just completely snapped on his mental. Don't get me wrong, it's like he's in like a state of constant coping, because it's like he's constantly like in a battle state, so his brain and mind and body and stuff just got used to it. So he's just kind of like, all right, this is what I do now. This is how I beat. And so with that being said, he leaves, and like, everyone's like obviously beaten up in the classroom, and then we have like maybe a few days pass. And so Deku continues his training. His dad tries to his dad basically tries to do what he normally does, and Deku's just like, no, I had enough. And proceeds to just beat his dad down, bro. He's just like, you bullied me long enough for my life. And then, yeah, just like, he doesn't even do nothing malicious. He just knocks him out. It's like a morning routine where he just wakes up and just, and then dad just, imagine like Baki fighting like a regular person while asleep. It's kind of like that. It's at this point in time, like, he's done so much training. After he's done with that, he pretty much is just like, all right, cool, let me get ready for school. And he gets ready for school. So as he's doing that or whatever, he has a normal school day, nothing too crazy happens, and then he's walking, and he's getting ready, like, cause he's got like, the underground scene and stuff, and he's like getting ready for his fight. And he's like, yeah, I think I should probably go there today. I wonder who's going to be fighting there. I wonder if that dude with the hands are going to be there. It's basically the dude that was loyal to Overhaul. He gave me a pretty good fight back in the day. As he's like strapping like his like bandages around his hand. He's like, yeah, that sounds real nice. It sounds real good and stuff. And he's getting ready for that. And he hears something. He smells something. He's like, and then with like a very sinister smirk and grin, all he says is villain. And the sludge villain pops. Alright, disconnect there. But basically, villain pops up, sludge villain. Deku's like, it's time. Then he gets very disappointed when he sees like a fucking sludge, and he's like, man, fuck you. And then he takes like a karate six, bro, and just and like blows the sludge villain back, and he's like, I'm him. And then he feels something on his back, then his whole lower back. And basically, if any of y'all ever seen Dragon Ball Z, you would know where I'm going with this. He basically feels something all over his body, and then he realizes the sludge villain got around. And then as the sludge villain is slowly molding and forming onto Deku's body, he was like, I didn't know he was here, but don't worry, kid, you're my hero. And Deku's like, huh. And then the sludge villain basically starts reforming, but using Deku's body as the center, or the nucleus. So after all that pretty much happened, Deku is just like, I refuse. And the villain's like, wait, what? If you've ever seen One Piece, wow. If you've ever seen Fairy Tail, you know how Natsu is. Yeah, we're about to have some bullshit happen up in this bitch, bro. Deku just says, no, you're coming to jail with me, big dog. And so, Deku just said, no, I refuse. It just starts inhaling, bro. He's like, bro, if I think about it like I'm chugging something, if I just do this like I'm chugging something, it'll be okay. And you gotta remember though, this is slime, and the dude just came out of the sewer, so I doubt the area he just came from was the cleanest. Deku is understandably trying to fight his urge to gag, but then he just tells his brain, this is a battle, and he starts bugging out mentally. So you just see the sludge villain like, wait, what? Wait, is this guy's quirk? No! And Deku just, he's basically bulked up so much. Like, he almost looked like he's about to power up into the next Super Saiyan form, right? And he's doing that, and he's bulked up. So he said, nah, bro, I'm a real nigga, right? And he pretty much grabs like a lighter that he had on hand, bro, and literally presses his lips closed and blocks off his eardrums, right? And then proceed to breathe through his nose very carefully, like, right? And then he could sense a strong power coming. It's not on like high level key sense where he's like, oh, that's All Might. He was just like, huh, someone's coming. Bet. He writes on the wall, take me to the police station, right? But All Might's time was out, and we'll just say in this scenario, UA was closer. So what ended up happening is UA is where Deku got taken to. I'm about to step outside, so if you hear slight audio change, that's why. So, with that being said and that being point of case, we got it to where your boy is he's basically immediately at UA within like moments. And Deku is like trying to contain himself, right? While All Might puffs down to his form, and Deku's just like, he's lost. He needs answers, but he can't get answers right now. He literally has a villain inside of him. Everyone's like, oh, okay, so he was able to hell the villain, so that must be his quirk or something, right? No, Deku was like, damn, what do? I didn't really think I'd get this far. I just didn't want to lose, so I'm here now. Now, with him contemplating all his life decisions up until this very moment, he's debating on what the fuck he needs to do. And then Aizawa pulls up, and we'll say like a couple of other like heroes there pull up, and they're just like, so what's going on, guys? And then All Might would explain the situation, and they'll be like, oh wow, his quirk. It seems like it's very useful for capture, blah blah blah. Deku writes down on a notepad, I don't got a quirk, but there's a problem. He's like, what? What's the problem? I can't spit him out. And everyone's like actually kind of concerned. Aizawa tries to erase the quirk, but Deku writes on the notepad in a comedic fashion, he has a mutation quirk. Your quirk doesn't work on him. And Aizawa's like, damn. But Aizawa briefly thinks about, wait, how does he know that though? Could be a question for a later part of the episode. Even though him and Aizawa's actually met and took down a couple of villains a couple of times, but that's on an off episode. So Deku is just like, well, I guess I'm dead. He's like, well, I lived a decent life. I'm kind of pissed I wasn't able to be that guy, be him. And then it happens. His body starts convulsing, shaking and everything. And then his body heals, right? Like from like the cauterization, or I don't know what the right word is. But his body heals, and then he just spits out something. And this time it doesn't actually taste that bad, like compared to what it was when he was in Helen. He doesn't like to think about it too often. And then he just sees like this girl. He's like, what the fuck? And she starts crying frantically. She's like, oh my god, I'm free. No, this can't be real. What year is it? And then Aizawa will say the year. And then, okay, excuse me if 100 years isn't the correct time. But she's like, oh my god, all that time has passed. 100 years? And then Deku is understandably feeling some type of, he is spitting everywhere. He's like, this feels in my mouth, feels in me. He's bugging out a little bit. And the girl's just like, I can't believe I'm alive. My quirk must have had some She starts feeling massive pain, right? And all her body is saying is go back, go back, go back, right? But it's in like the sludge villain's voice. And she's confused because she doesn't know if it's saying go back to the way she was or what. But then she touches Deku and like she like bonds with his body. And then like, but like she's like not like fully submerged. It's almost like a symbiote type beat, right? And so she's like, she doesn't feel the pain or whatever anymore. She's like, what the? And then she comes up with like a theory, and it's kind of like how the Zuko be talking, but like less. She's like, what I'm thinking is due to the weird phenomena. I forgot what I called it because I made up a name, but I'm gonna call it like quirk simulation or like quirk occasion or something. It's basically where a quirk has like a weird subvert effect that shouldn't happen normally, but it's so rare that it happens that it doesn't have its own name. But it's like when quirks affect the body in an unnatural way or something. And so she begins to be like, okay, I think I might need to explain something, but we're bonded now and we might need to figure something out. And Deku, after getting some mouthwash from Recovery Girl, he's like, I know what I need to do. Hold up, I have an idea. And that's where we're gonna end this part off to What If Deku Was a Battle Junkie Part 2.